Great. Welcome back. Today we are coming to do real estate cost. This one I've studied so much in school, and it's actually some people's job, quantity surveyors and the like. Okay, but I want to ask you a question. So far, have you enjoyed this series? Have you had a great time? If you had a chance to ask me a question personally, behind the scenes, what will it be? Send me a message. I'll put my phone number on the screen, 02065862226, and let me see if I can help you with it. Mostly I could, but I can't tell what the question in your mind is. All right, so real estate cost. I've heard this over and over again. Oh, the houses you are selling in Accra for 100,000, I can build it for 50,000. It's true. Okay, it's true. And sometimes, oh, the house is $100,000 house, we are selling it for 200,000. It's true. It's very true. Okay, but I can bet also that if I sell a house for you for 200,000, you can build it for 50,000, but it's not the same house. That one is also true. Okay, so there are things, if you've watched all the series, that have changed the price. Okay, I'm talking about user experience, I'm talking about quality, I'm talking about location, proximity to amenities and those things. So all those things are being priced. Okay, so people ask me, oh, the land there is too expensive. I say, I know. There is land for $1,000 in my hometown. You don't have to buy the 1 million Ghana cedis one that I'm selling. Okay, so let's build up the cost of real estate. What is it that is making real estate so expensive? And what is it that might be caused that real estate developers incur that makes it maybe theirs seem expensive? And what are the costs that you might not have thought of? So you think you're going to get it cheaper and then it's going to hunt you down eventually. I've seen it. I've seen a client who wanted to buy a house, went to build another house, and then came back like he doesn't like the house, so can I sell it to him so that I use the money to buy ours? I said, no, I have mine to sell. Okay, you just can't stay in it. So we want to look at those cost elements so that we can be on the same page, or maybe you can appreciate our stuff. Okay, and then sometimes people want to squeeze a big investment into a small land, like a lowly priced land. They want to build a $100,000 property on a $2,500 land. It looks like a smart move. But it's a bad financial decision. Okay, and the reasons I'll tell you. Unless you are so rich, you want to do it in honor of your grandmother, fine. Okay, but once it's a business, you need to think about those things. So I'll be writing a few things, and I'll be telling you approximately what percentage of investment should go into those things and how you should look at them. Okay, so certainly because I am a human being and I work to get paid, and I am teaching human beings, the first cost of real estate would have been HR. Depending on your orientation in life, you might not agree with me, which is fine. Okay, but I think that is the first cost. Okay, human beings, human resources. Let me write it so that you know that I mean it. Okay, now the reason why I write this is this: from human beings to an expert. If you remember what human being is, someone who has hands, 2 legs, can read and write, can communicate, to an expert. Okay, you can have somebody earning as low as 700 Ghana cedis a month. 700 cedis a month, okay, in real estate, all the way up to someone who earns 2,000 US dollars a day. In between from here to here, it's a huge cost. Each one of them has a kind of value. They are giving you $2,000 is how much? 20,000 Ghana cedis a day. Someone is making 700 Ghana cedis a month. What's the difference between these two people? Then you might get tempted to give the job of this man to this person. That will be a huge crisis. Don't make that mistake. So people sometimes play the game in between. They give the civil engineer's job, civil engineer somewhere here, okay? They give it to maybe a technician, okay, or maybe architect, okay, to a draftman, okay, a draftman, okay, maybe a chartered accountant job, chartered accountant, they give it to an account officer. They say, oh, he's just collecting money, okay, just collecting money. Yeah, I understand. You give digital marketing to NSP, National Service Personnel. It's just posting. You get it? So there's different cost elements all the way from up to down, and then you have the liberty to play with it, and you can save money and you can make money on these places. You can be deliberate about it. You can use it to your advantage. Just be sure that you don't make mistakes that would cost you so much, okay? And depending on the pedigree of the job and who you use, sometimes you can even use your cousin or your junior brother to supervise the project. Maybe because you don't have to pay him, or you just need to let him use your pickup and then he use it other days to run his own stuff. Are you getting value? If you're not getting value, where are you losing value? You need to know, okay? Because sometimes the work seems the same until you put it to the test, okay? So you really need to look at that. The next one, since I've used all these colors, number 2 would have been logistics, okay? Logistics is similar. There is something that we buy. There is this chair, which you cannot see. There's a chair hidden here before me that costs 10 times more another chair on my right. I wish you can just see it. Can you show them? There's this chair here that costs 10 times more than this chair here. They were bought the same time. This one is a home use chair. Okay, it's used from the US. This one is a brand new from China Mall. Cost 10 times more. This one is ripped apart. I've serviced it once already. I'm getting another case for it. And this one has never had any challenge. If you hit it, you can tell that the members are very thick, very reliable, standard, industrial standard, heavy metals, thick members. Logistics. What car are you using? Okay, you use a Nissan hard body on site, or you use some Chinese pickup on site. You have to be buying pickups over and over again. You get it? Are you using sand, river sand, or you're using pit sand? And when and where do you use it? Logistics. You have to, and materials, okay? You have to use the best quality for what you are doing. We fix doors. We're doing an affordable project, and we're like, this is an affordable project. We don't have to use the most expensive doors. So we were doing $1 million house, and we bought some of the most expensive doors. And when it got into contact with water, it bloated. Like, it was just expensive, but it was not quality. Okay, then you can actually buy a door made in Ghana, hardwood, high quality, and it's good, and it's strong, and it lasts forever, lasts longer than you can live. Redwood, that kind of stuff. It comes to the materials. You need to be thinking about these things, okay? So let's say this one takes 10% of your cost. That's a good labor cost, okay, for margins. Then let's say logistics take 20% of your cost. Okay, because material is everything. So you might be thinking, if you get materials for 20% and land HR for 10%, then the property is being sold for literally avoiding all the loss of mathematics, 70% more. Okay, but that's not true. So we'll be bringing a few other stuff. Okay, I feel like mixing the color, so I'm going to do this. The next one would have been land. Land. Okay, so the land is also 10%. So that one brings us back to the location. If you buy a land for any amount, make sure that the project you are developing is not more than 10 times more than of the amount. So if you buy a land for 1,000 Ghana cedis, do a 10,000 Ghana cedis project on it. That sounds ridiculous. So if you buy a land for $10,000, do a $100,000 project on it. There might be some plus or minus depending on your heart's desires and a few other things, but averagely, just look at it in that way, okay? Sometimes some people write 20% to even make it more feasible, but for the sake of this class, I can just keep it 10% so that we have some numbers to play with, okay? But I actually like 20%, but for the sake of this class, I'm doing 10% because people are trying so hard to shrink the value of the land so much and put very expensive buildings on it, which is a gross mistake, okay? And if you have gone through this because you have built and had some bad experience, share your experience in the comments, because I think people don't hear the experience. First time builders make these mistakes. So you see that the people who buy the very high premium products are not first time builders, and first time builders keep making this mistake. I'm telling you for a fact. If you've gone through it, share your experience in the comments. I'll be great to read them and learn from it, so that we all learn from it. Okay, then the next one would have been marketing. Okay, great. So marketing, I'll say 10%. Sometimes people complain that why do I say 10%? They wish to do 5%, which is true. You can do marketing for 5%. Marketing for 5% is you build the house, an agent sells it for you, giving 5% commission. But remember, I told you that some agents take 10%. Think about it. The other thing is that you can build a house, buy a car for the marketing team, print brochures, and still pay 10% commission. So how much is your cost of marketing? It's a thing people don't get. So it will be a missing link in your development if you think you can spend less than 10% on marketing. You realize that you never make profit and you don't know why. Okay, so think about it. Then municipal charges. Okay. Municipal charges. This one is so dicey, but I'll just say it as it is. 10%. Did you believe this? When you buy the land, you do lease documents, you register it, you get permit, okay, and all those stuff. 10%. Okay, it's going to cost you 10%. Sometimes people don't believe it. Sometimes people think they can beat the system and they don't do the permits, or they don't want to pay Ghana water, those kind of stuff. Water is not part. Water is part of the next one, which I'll be writing, which is utilities. Okay. Have you realized that if you go through this, your feasibility study is becoming more sensible? Because we'd have asked, is the land 10%? Is the logistics 20%? If it's this, then the man is too expensive, then the block is too expensive, then you can actually build up your feasibility. So if you do this, it optimizes your feasibility. Utilities and infrastructure. I'm adding infrastructure, okay? Infrastructure. Now let me show you how you can make money in Ghana real estate. If you get a land that can be so expensive that the land seems like 20%, you would have been saving the infrastructure element, because the road might already be there, the water will be just in front of your plot, the lights will be just in front of your plot, internet just in front of your plot. So all the utilities and infrastructure that you need is there. Okay, then you can have infrastructures. I'll be expanding the infrastructure element. Infrastructure can actually be schools, hospitals, all those things, they are available. So your land will be more valuable. You don't have to build them. But if you start thinking, oh, I want to build a gated community, I want to have a nice estate community, then you have to provide all those things by yourself. Okay, I'll give it 10%. It can actually cost you 20% if you are going through it all by yourself, but let's give it 10%. Okay, now let's do the total. Let's do the total. So 10, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. 70%. So where's the missing 30%? Where's the missing 70%? This is where the big fight is. And I wish I didn't have to teach it, because now when I say it, they'll say, number 7 and number 8, really dicey. Remember this and keep it holy. Should I say it? Did you pay for this class? Do you deserve to know this? Sorry if I'm arrogant and rude, but I just like to joke with stuff like that. Number 7, okay. Let's see, cost of finance. Okay, it's a delicate issue. I wish I didn't have to explain this. 15%. Listen to this very carefully. It's a very delicate issue, because I don't know whether I'm ready for the fight that comes after this. Then profit. As if you don't like money, you are doing this thing for charity. You came to make money, okay? Profit is also 15%. Okay. Look at this. Profit is 15%. Do you get what I'm trying to show you? Are you understanding me? When you do this, okay, your profit margin is 15%. No real estate developer makes 15% profit. But if you can finance it yourself, you are making 30% profit. But if you take a loan, then you are working for charity. So depending on how you balance this, then you might be constrained to shrink some of the other elements. Because sometimes you can really shrink HR. You just get some cheap guys. You refuse to increase their salary. You pay them in CDs. Also, you are selling in dollars. You understand? Logistics. You use some cheap materials. Land. You buy some land in your hometown. You want to go put a 20-unit hotel on it. Then you realize that you're not making money. Marketing. You market for so long. Past one influencer can just come there, make one video, everything is gone. It takes $20,000. You want to pay 2,000 CDs to NSPs, municipal charges. I don't know how you're going to escape because they don't play with their money. Okay, utilities. If you have it at a prime place, hallelujah, it can become your profit. But if you build in a village, then utilities will suck all your energy dry. So you realize that you would have been spending 20-30% of utilities. So you realize that your numbers are never adding up. This thing usually happens when you want to build affordable house. You see that no big developer does affordable housing. You use affordable housing to start up. But once you start thinking feasibility, you can't do affordable housing. So think about this, okay? This is a big deal. I don't know whether you understand how passionate I am about this, but this can actually make a real estate company. So think about it and let's have a conversation at this place, okay? Let's have a conversation about this place in the comments. I can revisit it upon depending on this thing. Then let me just put two things here. Yeah, we can have structural integrity. Structural integrity. You can make a lot of money or save a lot of money in that, and you can pay for it if you don't. And then finishing and finishing. So finishing and finishing. Sometimes you just use some cheap materials to finish or finish. Nobody will buy. Okay? So think about it. Thank you. See you in the next class. The next one is one of the most interesting issues to talk about. Don't miss it.